Alright, here we go. Number 2 of these. So, I don't know why I'm being so chipper. What a terrible, terrible day of games it was for me. I thought it was 1 and 5. In the end, it actually was 1 and 4, having looked back. Mostly just to sort of explain myself. Or find reasons not to be too upset about it. And you know what, looking back, remembering each game, I'm not too salty. This one, spoiler, it is a loss. But I'm happy-ish with it. Some good plays here. The one win, obviously, I've turned into that highlight video, the lightning round one. That will be released 2 hours earlier. That I'm messing around with. Yeah, so not a great day of games, but a lot of positives to take still. Or at least that's what I'm going to try and do. So I feel like my trace is coming along nicely. I really do have the most love-hate relationship with that character. It's so feast or famine for me. Sometimes I feel like I'm amazing. Sometimes I feel like I'm not really good. Truth is, I think it's just very, very rough. I think there's a lot of work in terms of the movement that I could really improve on. Not getting stuck on the scenery with my dashes would be good. Yada yada yada. See there? Okay. This game, I feel like, quite frankly, the tank was just a little bit discordant with the team. Right there, too far forward against the Sombra. Goes down very, very quickly, then we're left to defend Sans tank versus a Doom, the Sombra. It's going to be easy pickings for them, realistically. But we do put up a good fight in a lot of different ways. Yeah, I do try this. By this stage, I am a little bit pissy, if I'm honest. It's been a rough day of games. So just to run through my excuses. One of the games, we had an Ilari finish with 1.5k heals. So that wasn't so good. That was pretty painful to be part of. I still felt like that one was quite close, actually. That was a good game for Tracer. For me, I really felt like I figured out the rhythm to sort of fighting against a Winston. And then I had a game where it connected me to the Singapore servers. I'm in Sydney at the moment, so that wasn't so good. But that's not completely game breaking, if I'm honest. Not the best overclock I've ever done. Not completely game breaking. But we had a support player who insisted on playing Mercy, and then Life Weaver against a very, very good Tracer. Now I did try and go cast to counter the Tracer. My cast isn't so good, but I can definitely manage it just fine when I'm on normal ping. 120 ping was just too much for me to land my shots. I got her a couple of times, but ultimately they had free reign just to eat the Life Weaver, eat the Mercy alive. They ended up getting very, very little value. I remember them saying something like, "You're making the game unplayable for me," in all chat. Just like, that's got to be the biggest ego boost for the Tracer, but fair enough, you know. And then another game, we had a Suicidal Doom, no switching, was playing it into Orisa, Anna, I mean, you name it. The Sombra, the counters were all there. Every single counter you could think of would counter a Doom. Well, that's not good. That's not a good look for me. Anyway, yeah, so that wasn't so good. They ended up going 9 and 14 that Doom, and I think I had 5 deaths. The average deaths on our team was about 7. Yeah, so the tanks, like in chat, Pharah and Echo if you want to win. I mean, we go Pharah and Echo, they're gonna switch immediately afterwards. Like, even if we were any good with those characters, these sort of people those sort of. I just don't like that sort of advice in team chat, if I'm honest. Firstly, you're in gold, you're unlikely to know the level. You know, you don't know your other players' playstyle. You don't know who they're good with. For example, while I like the look of Echo, I plan on learning them at some stage. I'm useless at the moment, and I certainly wouldn't want to try and play Pharah. I haven't touched her since God, Overwatch 1. I mean, admittedly, in Overwatch 1 I absolutely loved her and I mained her, but back in Overwatch 1, this was quick play 99% of the time for me, and of course 6v6, there was a lot more chaos, a lot more things going on, so you could get away with a bit more, and people at that stage hadn't really adjusted.
What am I missing?
And then lastly, my 4th loss was... oh no, it is 5 losses. It is 5 losses. Never mind, it's 1 and 5. Brilliant. The last loss was a really good Tracer. A really good. It was on Antarctic Peninsula. They had a really good Tracer. I was playing very well myself. I had a very positive game. I was happy with my performance. But they also had a very, very good Doom, and the sort of coordination between them was much better. Our tank wasn't playing dive, so we got caught. Oh, that's such a bad slide, isn't it? I hate getting caught like that. So we ended up getting completely bummed. Now I go in my ult here because I'm planning on swapping. I just think, fuck it. Yeah, so that was not so good, the Tracer game. I mean, again, like, lots of positives. I feel like our backline didn't adjust correctly as well, whereas their backline were playing Moira Curie. Our backline was playing, I can't remember, something like I think there was an Anna for most of it. You know, characters that just will get a little bit caught out by a good Tracer. Like, sure, you can win the matchup, but it's harder than it needs to be. But again, you know, if the players aren't comfortable in those picks, I kind of get it. It's the same thing as I've just talked about with Echo and Farah. So that was sort of the rundown of my losses, the 4 other losses. This game, I do feel like, look, I mean, I don't know if you just saw that, I was completely talking over it, but he's just done a full Leroy Jenkins, gone in, ulted. As a result, we've had to use all support cooldowns on him. There's me being pissy in team chat. Yeah, it's just it's not, that was not a good play at the best of times. It's a full Leroy Jenkins, as I say. He goes in, he ults, then every support cooldown goes onto them to save him, and even still, we're now in a terrible position. It's not smart. It's not smart. And for you to be saying, "Oh, we need Fire Echo," when, I mean, essentially you lost us the first point. You've now just made a really bad play on third. You know, I'm crazy about it, to be honest. I don't think that's the smartest player I've ever played with. Any hoozles, it happens. Switch over to a real comfort pick for me. I really sleep on this, on old May, because she's fantastic. I mean, I get a stall out here. Team comes in. Somehow I manage to. Oh no, I don't survive here, but the team survives. Suddenly you've got the big old horse coming back, the nightmare to deal with, the tankiest tank there is. And before you know it, the team's won that fight. Well done to, is it Maelstrom up top? Yeah, Maelstrom on the DPS there for carry. Again, I think the other DPS actually catches some flack for this one, but I don't think they were playing too badly. I just think it's... Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not going to just say it's the tank's fault, but I think certainly the team play could be better. And I think, yeah, I think just generally we were pretty much diffed across the board here. Sombra tries a sneaky run, tries to get the Kiri, nice little headshot. So do I, you know, what do I take away from today? I think very little, if I'm honest. I'm not going to sit there and I'm not going to be upset about what went wrong, because I do feel like there's explanations for most of them. You know, you can't change who you get grouped up with, but over a long period of time, it balances it out. And ultimately, you've just got to be, you've got a fifth of your team, you're a 10th of the match overall. You've just got to have the largest effect possible that you can. So that's very much what I tried to do. Switch over to Tracer here. Now this is where I take a lot of positives from this game. I do think I play this Tracer quite well. I'm looking for the angles, trying to make sure I stay out of the range of the big obvious threats. Tank's dead. Goes in again. We've lost our DPS and Kiri. I'll make a nice play here. I'm pretty happy with this. I should have done it earlier, to be quite honest. But it's the sort of thing I like doing with, I'm learning, well, I've been working on with Tracer. And it feels really good to pull that sort of stuff off successfully. The dives, the dive bombing. There's so many different ways you can play this character. And sometimes you'll be playing it a little bit more passive and you'll have success, then sometimes you'll be playing it a little bit more passive, not have enough of an effect. Vice versa, you play aggressive, die all the time, feel like that's not the way to go. Next game you play aggressive, you kill them all the time. And it's very, very hard to sort of nail her down to one play. Well, she doesn't need to be nailed down to one play, so that big strengths. She can do a little bit of everything, and it is. I think it is going to be the character I'm going to be working on the most and moving forward. I don't know what that stick is now. Like, looking back, I thought it made sense. I won't be trying that again on the D-Mech. I don't think that was necessary, but we'd won the team fight by that stage. I'd like to take credit for that one. I'm going to take credit for that one, because, you know, why not? There's little else to take credit for. Yeah, just a character I find that really does have the agency, can make things happen without the team if necessary, and has the ability to be useful in almost any situation. Having said that, I do have the ability to, when I say the ability, inclination, to feed pretty hard. A lot of the time. You'll be noticing my beautiful, beautiful jade guns as well, my second set. I've been clocking in the hours for this, well deserved in my view. Not that I probably shouldn't have gone with Tracer, but you know, if I'm going to keep putting the hours in, why not? And then I got the whole green outfit as well. I got some serious, was it drip? Yeah. Any hoozles. Whole team's dead. Again. It's time for me to hunker down, try not to shit my pantaloons, and wait for my opportunity. Now, I would, in the old days, have tried to fight everyone 1v5, dashed around like a maniac, and eventually gone down staggering myself. Instead, I pulled that off, which is very enjoyable for me personally. I'm very happy with that as a player. I'm like, did you see? I'm watching the bubble, and then I'm like, wait a minute, she's so low. If I pop this bubble, she's dead in seconds. So, one of those little things with Sai that sometimes you forget. Lovely. Really feeling myself at this stage. Suddenly I'm like, okay, we may have a win on our hands. We managed to stall them out on third. You know, the only thing... I don't know what the Mercies decided DPS time. Stall them out on third, and we've got a chance. I've got this nice little off angle. Playing it well. Moira comes to push me. I maybe should have hung around, but I was concerned about where the rest of their team was in relation to me, and they had the ability to shut me down. A nano-bladed Genji causes problems. I failed to pick a target here. This is my big... Like, who am I going for? I go for the Moira, I go for the Genji, then I go for the Moira, then I go for the Genji again. Do I get the Ana? Don't even get the Ana. Yeah, out of cooldowns at this stage, dash into a wall. Not so good. Not so good there. Again, laser focus on targets. It's absolutely something that I think I could point to and say this is a major failing in my play. Just sticking consistent in the same play. Same character. You can see on the stats that sort of it's reflective of the game. You can see where the problems are, but that's okay. You know, we are getting stuff done now. I'm feeling again. I really do feel at this stage like this is the tide has turned. We're gonna win this one. So yeah, we lose the Sombra. That Sombra went in way too quick. I get the sense they don't know what they're doing with Sombra. I just forget that the Doom can do that when he's charged up. Not sure why he's charged up. Maybe I shot him. I don't know. Didn't see. But yeah, you can't. Need to be more wary of that sort of super-powered punch. A dash to the right would have saved me. And there was no need. There was absolutely no need for me to be dead. Or even a dash to the left. A dash in any direction would have been preferable to just waiting to get punched in the fucking jaw. Yeah. So, still. But overall, even now watching this back, where usually I watch a replay and I will cringe. I mean, that is going to make me real happy. That is changing the situation of my pantaloons from shatting to slightly tighter than they were before. That's what I'm saying right now. That's all I've got for you. Annoyingly, we can't get these kills. This is Tracer's one little weakness, is she doesn't have that verticality sometimes. Now, I could have hopped onto the flap and dashed over him, or I could try and guard him by taking that. In fact, now I'm watching that back. That's exactly what I should have done. But instead, now we get picked off, and I think this is where the tide turns again. And suddenly I realise that this is... Yeah, so I give up here because I'm like, okay, the whole team's dead, what can we do? Yeah, so that fight right there, I think that's probably it. In terms of... Yeah, the game, ultimately. I think that's just not the one. I still don't like the Orisa pick here, if I'm really honest. I just think you're just, you know, Sombra's gonna, not Sombra, Jorn's gonna get charged up on you. Genji's gonna ignore you. Doom, yeah, okay, you do counter Doom, but that's if Doom chooses to fight you. The whole team goes in way too fast. We had no need to do that. You know, we could have been slower. We had overtime. We had another few seconds to get in. I'm trying to dodge the Doom, and by doing so, I take myself out of the fight completely. I mean, when we lost Kiri and Soldier before the fight had even started, yeah, it's game over. Yeah, okay, 19 deaths on Soldier. Maybe he didn't have such a good game. And that's it. You know, again, I got to take the positives from my own play, but here we are. Sadly, 1 and 5 does mean that I'm right down at the bottom of. It says gold 1, but in truth, it is actually just gold 2. It's at that thing where if I lose another game, it'll take me down to 67% or whatever. And if I win, it just says consolidate. So ultimately, in my head, I'm in gold 2. I mean, that's good shooting, but my God, it is ducks in a barrel, isn't it? Yeah, fair. Good. It's a good finish. It's a good ult. There we are. Yeah. To motion protection. Just don't bother. Just fade me out.